guys, Ivs here, and today I'm going to be doing a hair shading tutorial for you guys. A lot of you have been requesting this, but I'm not really sure why. Is my hair shading really that good? I don't know, but yeah, so since you guys requested it, I'm going to be doing it today, and yes, I'm going to be doing a voiceover. Let's get started. So this is the style I'm going for today because I have many shading styles actually. So yeah, let's get into the tutorial first. So I have now imported the screenshot of my OC, and I put a reference of the edit I just showed you, which is Millia, in the top left corner if you guys want to refer to it sometime. I don't really know why, but right now I'm just selecting the background and cutting off the background. I'm sure you guys probably know how to do this, but if you don't, I suggest you to get familiar with IBS Paint first, because I might be using some more language you might not know about during the tutorial. So yeah, right now I have erased the background and removed the selected area, add a layer, clip it, and set it to add. Choose the pen fade brush and use the magic wand tool to select all the areas of the hair. Also, make sure to select the highlight even if it's not the same color as the base or the fade. Even if it's a completely different color, just select it for now. And I'm actually also fixing up some spots of the background I may have missed or accidentally deleted. So that's what you might be seeing during what I'm doing right now, if that makes any sense. So yeah. Now make sure to go to the add layer you just added before, use the pen fade, select the lighter colored of hair, and put the brush settings as in the force fade and the stabilizer. I don't normally use stabilizer, but put the force fade all the way up. Now start doing this stroke thing. I'm not sure if you guys will understand what I'm saying, but just watch as I do it. Like follow the line art of the OC and just, I don't know how to explain, like follow the line art and make the longest strokes on the edge closest to the line art, and as you get to the middle of that section of hair, make the lines a little, how do I say this, shorter or smaller. Just watch. There really isn't such a order thing to this, so yeah, just continue using it. You don't need to do this like completely correct. Like when you shade hair or clothes, it doesn't really have to be all that orderly because they can be messy sometimes. So yeah, make sure you also know where the light is coming from, so sometimes you might not want to put stuff there, but don't worry too much about that for now. Just draw like that part for a little bit. And for buns, just follow what I'm doing if you have buns on your OC. So yeah, I don't really know what to say here, but I guess I'll just tell you about this OC. Her name is Clarissa. She's a OC that I will be using in the Gotcha Club mini movie I have told you guys about, but only my Instagram followers know what the name of the mini movie is. So make sure you follow my Instagram for constant updates. Okay, so for big chunks of hair, like strands of hair, like the ponytail I'm shading right now, just use a bigger brush. There isn't really a size limit to brushes. You can change the brush size however you would like to. So yeah, and that's it for now. Add another layer and clip it as well. Set it to add. Choose a thinner size, but still use pen fade, and just put some touch-ups to some spots that you want to make brighter. That includes like those big chunks of hair where you want to make things more detailed if the line art of your OC isn't all that detailed. So yeah, just follow what I'm doing. I might be saying those words for most of the video, so just be aware. This step really isn't like mandatory unless your OC line art isn't really that detailed and it has a lot of big chunks. So yeah, you can change the opacity and merge that layer together with the one before. Add another layer, set it to multiply, still use pen fade, and move the multiply layer under the add layer. And then just start basic shading. If you want to just hide the add layer for a while to see more of what you're doing, that is fine too. Still use the pen fade and just start shading. This is basically like the shadow part, I guess. It doesn't have to be super like detailed. I would rather let it be a bit thicker because we're going to put a second layer on top of this with another layer of multiply shading. So just follow the line art, stick to one side of the line art for shading, if you know what I mean. The more you practice, the more you'll get better at hair shading, clothes shading. It just comes to practice. For the highlight, for multiply, I suggest you change to the highlight color, because if the highlight is like a really, really different color, then it'll just look awkward with the other color. I don't know what I'm saying right now, but I hope that makes some sense. So yeah. So we're done with this layer shading. You can remove the selected area to see what it looks like, but remember to put the selected area back on because you still need shade. Add another layer and clip it as well. Set it to multiply again. Use the pen fade, and you can select the color if you want a darker color, especially if your OC has a very, very light hair color. But otherwise, you don't need to do anything to change the settings. Just start shading like the inside of the areas you shaded in the last layer, if that makes any sense. So like the last layer should be thicker than this layer because it's going to be more detailed in this layer. We're adding more darker colors and making it look like it has, like, how do I say this? It looks more realistic, sort of. I'm not really sure how to explain. I said those words too many times right now. If your OC is wearing any accessories, make sure to put shadows under those accessories as well, like hats or pins or things like that. Remember that this entire shading process is using the same colors on every layer, unless your OC has like a very, very light hair color or for the highlight, but otherwise everything is going to be the same color on every layer. Okay, we're done with this layer of shading. You could check how it looks and add another layer, clip it, set to add. Then change your brush to felt tip pen soft. You can use any like hard brush that is like on the top For example, tip pen soft, tip pen hard, felt tip pen soft, felt tip pen hard. It doesn't really matter which brush you use. I just like this brush for some random reason. But just start using small strokes. Use small brush sizes to sort of outline the line arts and add a little bit of more sort of hair strandy looks. I think I just made up a word, but that's just the look of my style. And just make random strokes, but you have to follow the hair flow. I just like to do this because it makes the hair look a little more realistic and has like hair strands, if that makes any sense. And you can just outline around like those accessories I talked about before, like hats or hairpins. For the alloys, you might, if it's really long like mine, then you might want to shade it in separate parts. For buns, just follow the stroke of the buns, depending on what type of buns they are. So yeah. Okay, we're done with this layer of shading. You can take off the selected area and put it back on if you want to see how it looks. Don't worry, we're almost done. We just need a few finishing touches. Okay, add a layer. It should be on the very top, right underneath the selection layer. Clip that layer and set it to multiply. Now, go find the airbrush, the normal airbrush, and start adding a little bit of shadows to places where you need it. There isn't really much order or pattern to this. You just do it. I'm not really sure how to explain it, but the more you practice, the more you'll recognize where you should put it. I put it at the end of each hair section, if that makes any sense. And yeah, there isn't really much to this part. I just feel like it makes the hair look so much better. Add another layer. It's going to be the same as the one before, but set to add instead of multiply. And start shading, adding some more highlights. For this, I guess you can just put the highlights where we made those like stroke things at the beginning of the video, if that makes any sense. Of course, there isn't really a specific pattern to it. Now add another layer. Do not clip it and don't change the blending mode. We're going to add some hair strands. Use the felt tip pen soft or any other hard pen and just select the hair color randomly and make small strokes that are like those messy hair strands. There definitely is not a pattern to this, and just start selecting random colors in the hair. Don't just stick to one color. You can make the hair strands sort of overlap if you want to, depending on what your style is. And yeah, this step is optional. You don't have to, especially if you're rushing. But if you want to make like a good edit, I feel like the hair strands really make it a little better for some reason. I don't know why. It's just my own opinion. So yeah. But when making the hair strands, make sure to also follow the flow of the hair, because otherwise it might look a little awkward. And for big ponytails, you could make a little bit of hair strands in the ponytail as well. It doesn't have to be just outside. Hair strands can be super messy if you want them to. And now we're done. This is what the end result looks like. I hope this tutorial sort of helped you in some way. I'm not really sure, but this is my first time doing a voiceover tutorial. I hope it wasn't all that confusing. Hopefully, if you have any questions, you can comment down comment them down below in the comment section. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.